Welcome to another how-to by myself, Rob Allen. Today I'm going to talk about guns we manufacture, commonly known as pipe guns. Basically aluminium tubes. There's two types. One is a conventional tube, no rail. The other is the rail gun, where the spear is supported in a rail. With a normal non-rail gun, the shaft is only supported in the mechanism and in the muzzle. Because of that, there'll be a sag in the middle or a sag off the end, depending on the length of the shaft. In short lengths, basically 1 meter and less, this doesn't really make too much difference. But you can imagine if you have a long shaft where it's only supported there and there, you can clearly see there is a sag in the middle. This will cause the shaft to fly high. To compensate for that, we generally use a rail barrel. This specific tube has a thicker wall as well to allow for the greater thrust with more bands. Because the shaft is supported, it's kept in a dead straight line. This enables it to fly truer, no shaft wobble, and generally a lot more accurate. Because this tube is thicker walled, it is heavier than a non-rail barrel. The advantages of the thinner tube is it is lighter and more maneuverable, but in the longer lengths like this, if you powered it up, the tube will also flex. To compensate for the added mass of this tube, we've increased the internal diameter. This gives us more internal buoyancy. Both ends of the tube are plugged, so the air inside here will keep this upright. One of the areas to be careful when loading a rail barrel is that the spear line remains on top. As you can see here, it comes out the mechanism. The shooting line remains on top. If it fouls under the shaft, I'll just jam it underneath there. You can clearly see it holds the shaft up. That will cause it to shoot low. So it's important to always keep that cord out from under the shaft. Then when wrapping around the front, it's a good idea to cross over and hook it into the front lip. This will keep it underneath when loaded. If that's not crossed over, as you load, this side can flip around the bands. When loading onto the line release, it's always good to use two hands. Put the handle in your chest, tension the bungee end, hook it into the line release. That keeps it under the barrel. You can do exactly the same with the standard tube. Keep the cord on top, cross it over, and hook it into the line release, exactly the same method. That's the difference between a standard pipe gun and a rail gun.